All right. I was asked by a channel viewer who's been fairly persistent now about wanting a tutorial done on the Jam's 1979 song Eton Rifles off of Setting Suns. So thank you for being patient. I haven't played this song for a long time, so my approach is going to be a little different with this tutorial. So I assume that if you're watching this, you already know how the song goes, so I'm not going to play it through all the way, but I'm just going to show you the elements of the song as I understand them, and show you how I play those. And I'm going to do so today on this 1966 Rickenbacker 335 model. And you know, you might be asking, well, why am I going to do this jam song from the late 70s on a 60s Rick with toaster pickups when I've got, you know, that jam era Rick there, and one behind me here and another there, and so forth, with high gains, which is what Weller used on his guitars in the 70s and early 80s. And the answer is just because I'm actually getting a better sound through these toasters. So go figure, right? And I will also be playing through two Peavey Backstage 30 amps, one from 1978 and one from 1979. And again, you might be asking, why would you be playing through Peaveys when Weller used Vox and Marshall amps? And the answer is, if you look up the Eton Rifles Something Else video from 1979, where the Jam performed Eton Rifles and Joy Division did transmission, I think, on that program, you'll notice that when Weller does the guitar solo, he doesn't go back to the Marshall stack behind him, which, by the way, is not even turned on. He actually goes over to the side in front of his little Peavey Backstage 30 Plus from 1979 and does all of his, you know, he's making a whole bunch of noise back there in front of that little Peavey, getting feedback. So that was really kind of his secret weapon for this song. And lucky for me, I've got two of them. I actually found one of these on eBay and one of them on shopgoodwill.com. Paid less than $100 for each one of these amps from the late 70s, and they're really cool. They've got that great jam sound. So I'll stop yakking. Well, I'll get to the song. Incidentally, as I yak some more, I've got probably some people from England who watch the channel every now and then. And I get a lot of complaints about how much I talk on my videos, and I apologize for that, but there are some of you that actually seem to appreciate what I've got to say and the information that I attempt to impart or whatever. So at the risk of running afoul of some of my channel viewers, I'll talk a little bit more here. So yeah, the song begins, and Weller basically is alternating between an A minor chord, right? And then he goes into just an everybody open. So something, you know, right? So he alternates between that A minor chord, and I'm sure you know how to play an A minor chord, and the open, which is really kind of a G, an alternate, a modified G, I suppose, the everybody open. But he does that just to make a hell of a lot of noise at the beginning of the song, and then he jumps immediately into an F and a G, right? And that's a bar chord at the first fret, E shape for the F, and then bar chord at the third fret in the E shape for the G, right? There's your G, open. And then the verses are just simply bar chord at the third and fretting at the fifth at the D, G, and B string, like this. Get that damn middle finger out of the way there. And then you're just going to shift it up to the fifth and do the same thing. And these are the verses. So that's your those are your verses. He just alternates, you know. So what I'm doing there is I'm doing some palm muting with my right hand here. And also some, you know, lifting on and or lifting off and pressing on here. Right? Pretty basic stuff. But he alternates it with that. Okay. Now, there's another move you need to know for the song, which I've watched Weller play this many times, and I think this is what he's doing. He's just going from an A minor, and then he's lifting off these two fingers here while leaving his index finger on the B string first fret and coming down into an E minor shape, right, at the second fret on the A and D string. And then he's coming right back to an A minor. You know, that's that quick, you know, cheers then, mate. What else does he say there a few times? So that's one move you're going to want to learn for the song, is just that quick hop back and forth from the A minor to the E minor, keeping that index finger in place. Now, the little guitar riff that he plays in between there, so all he's doing there is he is leaving his middle finger on the second fret D string, and we're playing an open A. Then we're coming in at the third fret A string with the ring finger. So, real quick. Open A string, third fret. Then we're coming up to the G string, open G. Then we're at the second fret D string. So there's another move you're going to want to get good at. Just right. You can mute a little bit with your right hand to give it a nice kind of different emphasis than the chords around it, right? And then he finishes out that Here at the 5th fret, and you want to just bar the D, G, and B string, and you get just going up and down those strings. Then he jumps right back into the... Okay. Now you can play that also right down here, which sounds really nice and ringy because it's open, but it's also less controlled than when you're using a finger on all the strings up here at the 5th. So you can, the way you do that down here is just at the B string 1st fret, and then an open G and an open E. Now when I watch him play it live, he plays it up here at the 5th. And then of course there's that part where we jump into the "What a catalyst you turned out to be, loading the guns and you run off home to your tea," something like that. That's just a E minor with an F to a G. Right? So that's that part there, pretty simple. The only other parts to show you are the solo, and this is, it is a solo, but it's not, you know, this is not your Ace Frehley guitar solo. This is the Paul Weller guitar solo. Not to say Paul Weller can't give great solos, because he can. But so he jumps up here at the 8th fret and bars in an E shape. And let's see, let me see if I can. Okay, here we go. So all he's doing is just tracing up and down those strings. Whoops. There you go. That's the way you want it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you take that same shape and jump up to the 10th. And then you're going to hammer on and off with your pinky at the 12th fret, B string. So again. So you're just going to want to do that over and over until you get that solo, first part of the solo down. That's probably the trickiest part. It's just that trill with your pinky. Just going to want to practice that a few times until you get the feel. Okay, and then for the final part of the solo, he jumps down here to the 5th fret and bars, right? And then we're going to jump back and forth between the 7th fret D string and the 8th fret B string. So you just want to practice that move. And then he finishes it off just with everything at the 5th. Now you could, you know, the alternative way to do that is down here in the A minor position. Sounds great, but there's a little less control. And when I watch him play, this is where he does it at the 5th and the 7th and the 8th. So this is one of those songs where you're really going to want to let it loose on your guitar and hit it pretty good. Now, as far as that that solo right toward the end, he's basically again A minor, open strings, harmonics, string slides, and feedback in front of the amp. Right, my amps are a good 10 feet away from me on both sides of the room, and they've got kind of guitars flanking them, and I don't have it turned up high enough to really probably get feedback going because I've got neighbors and a wife upstairs who's being very patient, I must say, with this noise. But yeah, so you know, it's just a lot of just all that kind of stuff. And if you watch him on that Something Else video from '79, that's some of the most energetic guitar playing you'll ever see from Paul Weller, or anybody else for that matter. He's really beaten that Rickenbacker up in front of those amps, getting that Peavey amp getting some good feedback, and he's doing the toggle switch trick, you know. Great things you can do with a Rick, right? You can get that toggle going, and I think Weller got that from Pete Townsend. He was probably one of the first people to come up with that. But then, to end the song, you come right back here to this little riff that I showed you earlier. To an A minor as an exclamation point. So, you know. So that's Eton Rifles, as I understand it. I hope that wasn't too disjointed for you, not playing the song through and showing you how, because I assume you already know how the song goes in your head. So I was just showing you the basic elements that make up that wonderful song. So let me know what you think. If you hate that approach, I won't ever do it again. But if you think that was helpful with those bits and pieces of this great song, let me know that too. Thanks a lot.